Morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, Peace Corps. Welcome. Let me turn on my chat to see if anyone is shouting me out. Welcome, everyone from around the world. Welcome, welcome. Hello, everyone. Hello, everybody. Peace and blessings. Oh, here they are from Georgetown, Guyana, Peru, Maine, and Boston. Welcome. Come on in, everyone. Come on in. Greetings, Mozambique. It is so good to see the shout outs coming. Monterey, California, and Chicago, and Austin, and Michigan, and Kansas. Peace and blessings to you all. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Uruguay, welcome. Guatemala, welcome. Goodness, here they come, and the numbers are climbing. Welcome from around the world. Rwanda, it is so glad to have you. Spain, welcome. Welcome. Macedonia, Zimbabwe, Chicago. Wishing everyone that is joining our chat peace and blessings. I promise peace to your mind, peace to your family, peace to this world, for crying out loud. Welcome, everyone. Come on in, Eastern Caribbean. Thank you, thank you, thank you. San Francisco. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Come on in. Come on in. The numbers are still climbing. I'm going to hold for a few more seconds before we get started. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from around the world, wherever you are. Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Welcome, Houston, Texas. Welcome, Tanzania. Welcome, Namibia. Hello. That is so great. Welcome. Hello. Everyone is joining us from near and far. Kingston, Jamaica. Oh man, this is great. This is great. This is great. All right. I think I'm about to go ahead and get started, but thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. Okay, let's get started. Hello, Peace Corps, and thank you all for helping us celebrate Peace Corps Week 2022. My name is Tim Kelly from the Office of Management, and it is my pleasure to be your MC today. For those of you joining us by Zoom, I am here to tell you that you have come to the right place. This is the premier Peace Corps Week event entitled The Peace Corps Reimagined, a Keynote Address and Forum. But before we jump into our program, I have two quick housekeeping items to go over. First, just please note that this event is being recorded. And second, in addition to the ASL on the screen, we also have Spanish and French translation portions for the event. And to listen to these translations, check out your screen. Follow those instructions. One, you're going to click the interpretation button at the bottom of your screen. Second, you're going to choose the language that you want to hear. And if you want to hear English, just select off. And three, if you only want to hear translations, select mute original audio. Okay, very good. Now, housekeeping is out the way, and without further ado, Peace Corps, it is my honor to introduce our Chief Executive Officer, Carol Spahn, who will be bringing our keynote address. Carol?
Great, thank you so much, Tim, and just a very warm welcome to this global audience. It is so wonderful to be here with you all today, and just powerful to be able to bring people in from around the world through this virtual platform. I'd also like to offer a big thank you to our translators and interpreters who are so critical in making meetings like this accessible. So as we celebrate our 61st anniversary, and as so often happens during anniversaries, we find ourselves immersed in a moment of deep reflection on our past and how it is shaping our future. When Peace Corps started its work in 1961, it ramped up to 44 countries and 7,300 volunteers in just 2 years. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of being with Mark Shriver at Don Bosco Cristo Rey High School in Maryland. We were celebrating Peace Corps Week with the students and encouraging them to consider Peace Corps in their plans for the future. As we shared the story of his father and that time in history and what they were able to accomplish, I was just so incredibly energized by the journey that we are about to embark on as we return volunteers back to service overseas. What a gift it is to be able to contribute in such meaningful ways during times of tremendous challenge. As an agency, Peace Corps has been invited to countries during pivotal moments like this. When communism fell across Eastern Europe, following the end of apartheid in South Africa, and after civil wars in places like El Salvador and Liberia. The Peace Corps has partnered with nations at the grassroots level to bridge divides and to connect across difference. We've also contributed to large-scale public health efforts. In the 60s and 70s, it was smallpox vaccination. In the 80s, guinea worm eradication. Since the early 90s, malaria and HIV prevention. And now we're gearing up to respond to COVID-19. We are part of these efforts at the last mile, reaching some of the most isolated and vulnerable populations. And just as the self-named smallpox warriors of the 70s played a critical role in the eradication of smallpox in more than 20 countries, the incoming COVID crusaders, or whatever they choose to call themselves, will be a part of history. And I'm so very grateful to all who have stepped up along the way as part of our shared story, many of whom are on the call today. From former directors, and I believe I saw Erin Williams is on the line. Thank you, Erin, for joining us. To staff, to RPCVs, counterparts, host families, and supporters. The strength of this agency is in its people and the power of our mission, which endures despite the many challenges to world peace and friendship that we face every day. The most pressing example at this moment is Ukraine. It is a horrific, intense time, and I want to acknowledge the fear and heartache we all have for the people of Ukraine, which has been a partner of the Peace Corps since 1992. Nearly 3,500 volunteers have been warmly welcomed into communities across the country, and our hearts go out to all of the people of Ukraine. We've really been inundated with requests for information about our team and how people can provide support. So please know that we are doing everything within our authority to provide supplemental financial support to ensure that our staff have the funds they need to take care of themselves and their families. We're in touch with them daily and are running formal accountability checks. In addition to what we are doing as an agency, it has been incredibly moving to witness the outpouring of support around the world and within the Peace Corps family. And I'd like to highlight just a few. In Ukraine, a returned volunteer from Georgia, Terrell Starr, is in Kyiv bravely capturing the story on the ground as it unfolds. You can see him on MSNBC and other outlets, and he also hosts a podcast called Black Diplomats. In Moldova, our teams have been working around the clock to provide contracting to support to allow for supplemental payments to go through. There's always plenty of paperwork. They've also stepped up in their personal capacity to transport people from the border to shelters or even to their own homes. And they are teaming up with the Moldova Small Business Alliance and RPCV David Smith at David's Restaurant to coordinate a citywide donation drive, supporting more than 800 refugees on the first day of operations alone. In Romania, a returned volunteer from Malawi, Kelsey Smith, is among several returned volunteers on the front lines with the American Red Cross, assisting in response efforts. And here in the US, the Alliance for Ukraine RPCV group is raising money, building awareness, and helping to direct donations and other offers of support. During a recent call with our staff in Ukraine, they shared just how much it meant to them to hear from staff, RPCVs, and others around the world who are doing everything they can to help and have expressed concern for their safety and well-being. So we are reminded every day of the fragility we face as a global community. Whether we are witnessing conflicts unfold in Ukraine, Ethiopia, Myanmar, Afghanistan, or other parts of the world, or are witnessing the lasting effects of war and conflict within a country's history. Violence threatens the very humanity we strive to uplift, and each and every life is valuable. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for keeping the people of these countries, not just in your thoughts, but also in your actions, and for standing up for peace in a way that reflects our deep respect and care. This is what world peace and friendship is all about. It's really, truly a lifelong commitment, and it is profound to witness. This intentionality and unwillingness to sit on the sidelines in the face of injustice and inequality is a defining characteristic of people who become a part of the Peace Corps, as staff, volunteers, or hosts. A lot has changed in the 2 years since Peace Corps evacuated for the first time globally in March of 2020. But that quality remains constant, and we really have seen it come to life over these challenging 2 years. No nation, community, or individual has been spared the impact of COVID-19. Each and every one of us has been asked to step up in ways big and small, to adapt, to live with uncertainty, to question the status quo, and to use this moment in time to shape a new future. Before I jump into how Peace Corps as an agency is reimagining service, I would like to honor the broader Peace Corps network of passionate individuals and how they have met this moment. It's happened in countless ways, and I wish I could share them all, as it provides such hope and clearly frames how Peace Corps is so much more than a 2-year commitment overseas. Starting with the communities. As we are all aware, COVID-19 has disproportionately impacted the countries we serve. We've seen our amazing host community members carry on despite significant challenges to continue the projects they started with volunteers and to meet other critical community needs. They are leaders and change makers in every way. This includes continuing to conduct grassroots soccer trainings, adapted for COVID-19 in partnership with staff, where soccer is used as a tool to encourage healthy living, prevent HIV, and empower youth. And we've seen counterparts who have continued uplifting their communities through pad projects, permagardens, beekeeping, and income generating activities. The teacher you see on the screen here, Madalitzo Akim, said, "I've trained more than 150 girls and boys in the grassroots soccer program. Some students have gone on to become coaches to train the next group of students, and more than 300 girls have developed greater self-esteem through the Girls Empowerment Program. With their new knowledge of a world beyond their village, they now talk about wanting to study and have careers." Community leaders like Madalitzo are the heart and soul of progress. I am so grateful for the thousands and thousands of communities and individuals who have hosted Peace Corps volunteers. These families, counterparts, and friends demonstrate incredible leadership, guide our partnership, and help define our work. So next, I'd like to acknowledge our partners. We often hear that necessity is the mother of invention, and 2020 was certainly a year of necessity. Ministry, NGO, and community-based partners in 34 countries and RPCVs from every decade of Peace Corps service stepped up to participate in our virtual service pilot program when countries were isolated due to COVID-19. Together, they demonstrated that meaningful relationships and progress can be made, even when connections are virtual and collaboration is done over great distances. I'd also like to express tremendous gratitude to FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, who partnered with us on the second ever domestic deployment of Peace Corps response volunteers to assist right here in the US with the COVID-19. This mission assignment showcased the incredible skills of our volunteers, the diversity of America, and really the importance of meeting people in their own language, be it Wolof, Amharic, Swahili, French, or Spanish. And I would be remiss not to acknowledge the National Peace Corps Association for their tireless advocacy work, as well as the many affiliate groups that have stepped up in profound ways. We spoke earlier about the RPCV Alliance for Ukraine. I'd also like to give a huge shout out to the Friends of Tonga, whose work to create a digital library for Tongans earned them the much deserved 2021 Library of Congress Literacy Award, and to a very special RPCV group in Mexico that has supported the famous Afghani girls robotics team. It is partners and partnerships that expand our collective impact, and again, show how Peace Corps service is only the beginning of a lifetime journey. And now let me share my deep appreciation for Peace Corps staff around the world. They have worked tirelessly to address urgent development needs in their countries and to revamp systems ahead of the return of volunteers. And this really has shaped up and looked completely differently at every post around the world. Our team in Liberia organized a basketball tournament where over 1,000 people were vaccinated, including the mayor, religious leaders, and others who had previously resisted getting the vaccine. Our staff in Botswana supported civil society organizations to address increasing levels of gender-based violence attributed to the COVID-19 pandemic. And more than 800 staff around the world completed our course developer certificate, creating hybrid content and putting these skills to immediate use in schools around the world to support learning in a virtual context. It has been an honor of a lifetime to lead such mission-driven and passionate staff, especially during this historic time. And of course, to our volunteers, returned, evacuated, and future. I mentioned the many contributions of RPCVs earlier, but want to specifically acknowledge the more than 150 response volunteers who served in the domestic deployment with FEMA last May, and the over 300 virtual service pilot participants who have been on this unique journey with us. And speaking of journeys, I can't leave out the evacuated volunteers who were uprooted from their host communities nearly 2 years ago. This group has endured a long wait and their patience is about to pay off. I am endlessly impressed by this group and their unwavering resolve to serve. In a statement this week, the Dalai Lama said, "War is outdated. Nonviolence is the only way. We need to develop a sense of the oneness of humanity by considering other human beings as brothers and sisters. This is how we will build a more peaceful world." But we know that. We live it every day. Collaboration, intercultural competence, and connectedness is the key as we work to overcome the devastating impacts of COVID-19, climate change, and social inequality. And it will take all of us. This is an incredibly important moment in time, and it is critical that we engage, answer, and amplify the call to serve. Over the past 2 years, our primary goal has been to return volunteers to the more than 60 countries that are enthusiastically awaiting their return. And we've weathered the waves and variants of the COVID-19 situation at each post and re-engineered Peace Corps systems, policies, and procedures to align with today's reality. Something that's really stuck with me during this time is the anthropological concept of a liminal experience, or a prolonged separation from the usual ways of being and doing. These 2 years have been, by definition, disturbing and disruptive, a liminal experience for all of us and a potent opportunity for discovery and reinvention. And we at Peace Corps are emerging from this experience more nimble and ready to meet the moment. Our vision is clearly articulated in our strategic plan, and I am so happy to share this with you today. The plan is officially still in draft form, but it will become final with the release of the 2023 President's budget expected later this month. In it, we have articulated 3 very clear and concise strategic objectives. These are: 1, to reimagine service, to advance equity, and to deliver quality. Very simple, very clear, but so much behind those words. I'm incredibly proud of the plan and all that it stands for. It was an inclusive and participatory process, and it represents the future of Peace Corps. We are truly building on our foundation to adapt to a world that has fundamentally changed, and we're stepping up to be the change we want to see in the world. Reimagining service means that we're building on time-tested approaches of community engagement and partnership while enhancing accountability and piloting new models. We're leveraging modern technology where appropriate and adapting our programming to respond to a changing world. Advancing equity takes place both in our countries of service and at home. It is a part of who we are at Peace Corps and essential to achieving our mission. It's not only about ensuring that the diversity of our staff and volunteer corps is reflective at all levels of the United States population and those in our countries of service, but it's also about developing a culture of inclusion throughout our agency so that anyone who comes in contact with Peace Corps feels valued, welcomed, and respected as individuals. This cannot be done without understanding historical inequities in each context and applying this knowledge to shape approaches and systems. Through this strategic objective, we are deepening our efforts, and we are doing it agency-wide. Delivering quality is all about defining and delivering consistently on health, safety, and service commitments in partnership with host countries, volunteers, and staff. And it is about being transparent and accountable in our work. This is not a check-the-box exercise. Rather, the plan represents foundational changes in the way we work. So I'd like to take a moment to talk about how we were fundamentally broadening our approach around sexual assault. Over the past decade, we have intentionally and continuously enhanced our program to center on the safety of our volunteers and support for survivors. But this is not enough. We cannot tolerate sexual violence, not here in the United States, nor in the countries where we work. We are developing a comprehensive prevention strategy, one that pulls together and broadens our programmatic work around gender equity in communities around the world with our systems to support the safety and well-being of our volunteers. This is a major shift, and you will hear more about it and our systemic equity work in the breakout sessions. To fully incorporate and institutionalize these changes at headquarters and in 64 diverse country contexts will take time, but we are fully committed, and we thank the entire Peace Corps network for their commitment and advocacy around these critical issues. And now let me shift to our programming. I'm very excited to announce the rollout of our programming, training, and evaluation alignment. It is the culmination of years of work to create an integrated system of project development, training, and reporting in every sector and across all three goals. The system standardizes the way projects are designed to address community-defined priorities, how volunteers are prepared to achieve the goals of their project and the goals of the Peace Corps, and how we monitor and track impact. By aligning this system, we are increasing accountability to host country partners and communities. We are creating efficiencies and transparency. We're facilitating learning and sharing, and we're producing lasting and measurable results. So all volunteers will soon experience this cohesive system for themselves. They will serve under a logical project framework and be trained and evaluated according to volunteer competencies, including diversity, equity, and inclusion competencies that are designed to professionalize the volunteer experience. PT&E alignment represents a tremendous investment, and the return on that investment will become clear as we return volunteers to service. So we wanted to bring this to life a little bit this afternoon, and we will hear from Viola.
I first learned about the Peace Corps from a friend. I loved hearing her stories, so I checked out the Peace Corps website. There, I learned that Peace Corps is a job. Volunteers are assigned to live in communities and carry out project activities. There are clear expectations, requirements, and responsibilities. I met the qualifications to serve and was invited to interview. During the interview, I shared examples that demonstrated the competencies I needed to be a competitive applicant. When I received my invitation to serve, I learned more about my host country, my assignment, and the training I needed to be successful. I had to demonstrate competencies in 4 job functions in order to swear in as a volunteer. When I finally got to country, I was so excited, but wow, training was really intense. In the first few days, we did a competency self-assessment. I felt pretty confident and comfortable with some of them, but realized I had a lot to learn. For example, strategies and policies to stay physically and mentally healthy and safe, and theories and techniques to integrate into communities across cultures and aspects of diversity, including my peer group, the Peace Corps office, and my host community. On top of all of that, we also learn a local language and lots of technical skills. My programming staff went over the logical project framework. They call it an LPF. and a framework for Peace Corps goals 2 and 3. That helped me understand why our work is important to the host country and to the Peace Corps. I learned how to monitor and report on activities in volunteer reporting and grants, VRG. I was so inspired that my activities would make a difference to host communities and be shared with people back at home. My training staff gave me a plan for learning and development with clear standards for performance. Staff held me accountable for my learning. I was assessed multiple times in pre-service training, and they gave me feedback during progress meetings. That helped me know my strengths and areas for improvement. Before I swore in, I did another competency self-assessment to see how much I developed. This helped boost my confidence and set learning goals for service. During service, the LPF guided my work with partners. The training and learning resources prepared me to carry out the activities effectively and appropriately with my counterparts. The ICDEI competencies really helped me develop relationships, and the PACA lenses and tools helped me gather insights and ensure project activities were inclusive. Data collection tools helped me track activity outcomes. I used VRG to share ideas for activities that my counterpart and I planned. After implementation and data collection, my counterpart and I talked about what went well and how we might adjust activities in the future. I shared the results in our lessons learned with staff in VRG. During site visits, I reflected on activity implementation and my progress in the competencies. My program manager and I talked about successes and challenges with activities related to goals 1, 2, and 3. She helped me set new learning and performance goals. In my second year of service, my counterpart and I co-planned a project to address a community-defined priority. I used VRG to apply for and manage the small grants. Now, I'm at my close of service COS conference. I do another competency self-assessment. I can really see how much I have learned and grown in service. My volunteer group and I have collectively contributed to development outcomes, learned so much about the local cultures, and made amazing and surprising friends. We are exploring how the competencies we developed apply to educational and professional opportunities after service. I can speak confidently about my assignment and my intercultural experience and provide examples of how I demonstrated various competencies in service. I feel ready to make the transition from Peace Corps to career.
Great, thank you so much for that, Viola. I hope that helps bring to life a little bit. It's a lot to try to explain, in words, exactly everything that's changed and how it all fits together. So wanted to share that video with you all. So with that fully aligned programming, training, and evaluation system, as well as a commitment to support COVID-19 response and recovery in every country, and strong safety protocols in place, we are ready to return volunteers to service. We recognize that COVID-19 may continue to challenge us along the way, but we are confident in our systems and in our plans. To date, we've met our robust preliminary approval criteria to return volunteers to service overseas. These posts have begun issuing invitations to bold volunteers who are stepping forward to be a part of Peace Corps service as we return to a changed world. While these countries still need to clear a final check a month prior to departure, we are gearing up. We haven't shared this list publicly yet, so I will announce the countries one by one and in alphabetical order. And Tim, did you have a drum roll for me? Thank you. All right, here we go. Number 1, Belize. We have Benin, Colombia, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Eastern Caribbean, Ecuador, Ghana, Kenya. Let's give a shout out for Kosovo, Kyrgyz Republic, Mexico, Namibia, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, Rwanda. Let's not leave out Senegal, Sierra Leone, South Africa, the Gambia, Togo, Uganda, and last but not least, Zambia. Huge thanks to all of our teams for the hard work that's gotten us to this point. We anticipate that the first volunteers will be returning to Zambia and the Dominican Republic in just a few weeks. And we anticipate that many other countries will receive volunteers later on in the spring and throughout the summer. So these volunteers are returning to service in a dramatically changed world, but also will be serving in a reimagined Peace Corps. I've heard so many people tell me their stories from service from 10, 20, or even 30 years ago and say, probably not much has changed. Today, it is our intent to pull back the curtain and to share with you the tremendous changes that have taken place and are taking place at the Peace Corps, often behind the scenes. I also invite you to subscribe to our publication, Inside Peace Corps, where we share these updates on a fairly regular basis about what is happening within the agency. And we also encourage you to access our new ethical storytelling toolkit. It is my hope that you come away from today's event with the sense that this is not the same Peace Corps you know from 10 or 20 or even 2 years ago. We've preserved the enduring magic that brings us together again and again after all these years to support an agency and a mission we love and care about, while fundamentally changing the pieces that make us better. But most importantly, it is my hope that you share the opportunity to be a part of this amazing network with as many bold, impatient, and innovative people as you can, and encourage them to be a part of history. Today, we received a beautiful letter from President Biden, who visited many Peace Corps volunteers during his time as Vice President. In it, he says, as you commemorate Peace Corps Week, I thank you and commend your contributions to advancing freedom, upholding the dignity of others, and championing opportunity. Your work on the front lines of these endeavors, in partnership with host countries and their citizens, is essential to creating a more peaceful, secure, and prosperous world. We are fully committed to ensuring that underserved communities around the world are not left behind following one of the most significant shocks that we may see in our lifetime, and that peace and friendship wins out over isolation and divisiveness. Thank you so much, and back to you, Tim.
Thank you, CEO Spahn. This is so exciting. I'm just looking at the chat. It is blowing up in a really wonderful and amazing way. It is so exciting to hear that almost half our posts have passed preliminary approval and are sending out invitations. This is really, really, really great news. Also, as we heard that the Dominican Republic, they're going to be one of the first countries to receive volunteers. So to highlight the staff there and their preparations, how about we watch a short video and see what's going on?
I want volunteers to know that we are so excited to see them again or to meet them for the first time. Peace Corps is here. When I say Peace Corps, I'm talking about Peace Corps as a whole. I'm talking about headquarters. I'm talking about post staff. I'm talking about our community partners. I'm talking about our host families. We are all here, and we're really excited to collaborate with them and have them form part of our team.
The communities that we've worked in for so many years are really ready to see volunteers come back, and they understand the importance and the connections that have been made. That's where our heart and soul is at.
Bueno, pues contaba que de las cosas que esperamos para los nuevos voluntarios es el desarrollo de capacidades tanto a nivel de las organizaciones en lo que es el área de negocio, que Cuerpo de Paz tiene muy bien definido ese proceso de transformación y de formación en jóvenes. También la consolidación y todo el apoyo que necesita de acompañamiento, lo que son nuestras comunidades, de que no imponemos, de que no desarrollamos grupos, más bien los empoderamos, ellos crean sus propios espacios.
While a difficult time, it's been an amazing time for our team. Traditionally, we had 2 intakes of volunteers every year, and so everyone was always preparing for the next group that was coming in, right? And so we seldom had a chance to step back and reflect on what was going well and what we'd like to improve on. And so this pause has offered us that opportunity to improve our programs and really focus on how we want volunteers to see us as one whole team, not just the office team, but the volunteers being part of the team as well.
There are multiple changes that we are going to experience in my position and also for the volunteers in their communities. And in my position, where we have the responsibility to make sure that we set the right expectations and explain the reality of what they are going to experience in those communities, is going to be a challenge. We need to make sure that we educate them and train them correctly so that they know what to expect.
We were visiting communities just to see how the context of people, and we really worried about how they are doing. And that's something that it's more than a job, it's personal. Volunteers connect with the community. We connect with people with the work that we do, and that's the best part for me.
Necesitan primeramente humildad, relacionarse con los niños, porque a los niños les encanta que venga personas de otro lugar.
I am really excited about volunteers coming. Dominican culture is really rich, and we want to share what we are, who we are, or what we have. I'm excited that they're going to see the changes that we've made, the growth that we've had during this time.
I want our student and also our volunteer knows is we're ready.
That we are going to be here 100% waiting for them, supporting them, learning with them, and moving forward with them too.
Communities are waiting for them. The Dominican Republic needs people like you, volunteers, to come and serve.
Les exhorto que nos sigan ayudando. Muchas gracias y estaremos aquí siempre cuando ustedes lo quieran.
Wow, the DR team is ready. Love that. Peace Corps is ready. I hope the rest of you guys are ready because Peace Corps is coming back. Believe that. Let's see, before we transition to the next part of our event, I do want to give a quick big thank you to our translators today. Johnny, Marco, Regina, where are you? Can you give a wave thank you for providing those translations? Awesome. And to Jay and Casey, give us a wave thank you for the ASL interpretations. Thank you so much. And all right, as CEO Spahn mentioned earlier, it is time to go to the next part where we are going to pull back the curtain today, and we're going to reveal and show you our plans. So a couple of notes on what's to come for the second half of today's event. We are going to break into 3 different groups so that you can learn more about our plans under each strategic objective. This portion of the event will include live Q&A. So we are going to turn on, or actually we're going to turn off the chat now. So say your adieus. We're going to turn off the chat now so that you can put your questions in the correct Q&A spot. Okay, and so here's how we're going to do this. If you want to learn more about strategic objective number 1, reimagined service, you're going to sit tight and you're going to stay right here in this session. For those interested in strategic objective number 2, which is advanced equity, see the link that's in the chat, click it, and then you're going to move to that room. And for those interested in strategic objective number 3, which is deliver quality, again, find the chat for that group in the chat, click it, and move into that room. Got it? For any of those rooms that there may be a passcode required, the passcode is going to be Peace Corps, all one word, all lowercase. All right, everybody, let's go ahead, make your choices to which room you want to go, and we will get started shortly. Thank you, guys. Have a blessed day.